Greetings, YouTube. I thought today I'd talk about alignment. Well, I talked about the afterlife earlier this week. I might as well take on another controversial topic. And I can't think of any more controversial topic amongst gamers than alignment. Now, when it comes to fantasy role-playing games, I like alignments. I like heroic characters. When I run campaigns, I don't let anybody play an evil character. That's just me. I want heroes. But I've come to think that some of the restrictions that are in the game are a little too tight. There are some that make sense. For example, paladins are lawful good. Lawful good is a really hard alignment to live by, but that's kind of the point. A paladin is supposed to be this paragon of virtue. He is supposed to be, or she, is supposed to be held to a standard that is nigh impossible to achieve. So I'm okay if paladins remain lawful good. But there are other classes that I think the alignment restrictions are inappropriate. For example, the barbarian. Yes, barbarians aren't lawful. I get that. But I don't think you should have to require them to be chaotic. Just not lawful. Monks. I've done a fair amount of reading of actual monks. And they don't strike me as particularly lawful. Disciplined, dedicated, yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean lawful. That just means they're not chaotic. So I think that monks should just be not chaotic. Let there be neutral good and neutral evil monks. I got no problem with that. And I've discussed the Warlock recently, and where I said that the current alignment restrictions seems very tight to me. Now, if a GM was going to say, you know, like, okay, I want to really play up the whole demonic background thing, then you just say they can't be good. That makes it less than ideal for good aligned characters, of course, for your average heroic party, but they could probably still squeeze in an anti-hero. Or you could just play up the fact that you want to say that they're a little more of the old school bent and say that chaos is what they're in the embodiment of, so just say they can't be lawful, opening up some more alignment possibilities to them. It's up to the GM. And I think that one of the hardest alignments to run would probably be the true neutrals. I mean, how do you run on that razor's edge of true neutrality? How do you keep yourself from falling into one side or the other of that particular moral worldview? I know I've never been able to do it. I didn't even try it as a player. I always wanted to play something that was, you know, a little more real world, I guess you could say. I think at one time in my life I probably considered myself chaotic good. I was very much of an individualist at one time in my life. And now I think of myself more as neutral good. I'm willing to live by the code of law, but I understand that there are times when the laws are wrong. So I balance law with chaos freedom, and I come out in the middle with neutral good. I want the maximum good for the maximum number of people. And then there's the big alignment problem that everybody has, and that's chaotic neutral. Now, I've seen chaotic neutral played as crazy people. I've seen chaotic neutral played as an asshat with the desire to, like, screw up the entire world as much as possible. And neither of those is particularly a helpful or useful way of playing a character in a campaign. It's not going to help with party cohesion, and nobody's going to have fun. For me, a chaotic neutral character is an incredibly self-centered individual. Al Franken used to have a character early in his career, and one of the lines he said was, "What have you done today for me, Al Franken?" And that's the perfect embodiment of chaotic neutral. What have you done for me? Now, it doesn't mean the person isn't capable of having friends, and once they have established a friendship, it doesn't mean that they aren't capable of being altruistic and self-sacrificing to help that friend, because that friend's important to them. And that's how they see the world. So I think that chaotic neutral is a little more difficult to play, but I think no more difficult than, like, lawful good. Again, I would never want to play a true neutral character. I think that's just too much of a hassle. But the other alignments, I would be willing to play, or I have in the past. I've played lawful neutral. I've played lawful good. I've played chaotic good, neutral good. And I think I did briefly once play a chaotic neutral character, and I kind of played the self-centered thing I mentioned. But I've never played an evil character, and I have no desire to play an evil character. I like heroes. It's what I like to play. It's like what I want to run. I want to run a campaign where the players are the good guys. That's just me. So, I'm probably going to regret this, but how do you feel on alignments? And in your fantasy role-playing games, do you use them? Do you like them? And why?